I mean, not many have turned up, and there's not much they can do if not many are there. I'll just walk past. Yeah, I mean, like I said, that when Posey Parker came, it was about the same amount, but yeah, I don't know if they've got any plans. I thought they might have played music or something. No, but I just thought they might have had a part. Oh, our press guy's there. Hi, you've turned up. It doesn't seem to be busy today, but you never know.
You never know, Paul.
I mean, it's supposed to start now, so I thought they might have played music or something.
I have got
because,
no idea, Paul.
Put some on.
Well, they're not going to go. I don't think they're going to go on a march or anything.
Oh, you're in shorts, Hawk?
I'm always in shorts.
Yeah, is that because you're after Foxy Socialists?
Oh yeah, I just did that to wind her up. She told me off. She came up and said, "Oh, I'm not," because I think I did a video where I called Safeguarding Team, and she said, "I'm not that." She was actually funny about it. If you listen, you wanted to plug an external mic in, it'll knock it off balance. That's the problem.
Handle it, couldn't you, I guess?
You can. I have done it, but you still got the lead, and you can be knocking it and stuff. I have got away with it because when it's windy, you do notice a noise. But again, GoPros, you get away with a lot more. I mean, if you haven't got one, I always say get a GoPro, but the files are a lot bigger. And if you're editing on an iPad, God, it takes ages to transfer. A lot of them who use GoPros just pull the card out, show up computer. That's quick. But I'm lazy. I just use an iPad and upload. There's a few of the YouTubers here today, but it's getting warm.
It's going to be boiling soon, mate. Have you got plenty of water?
Yeah, I'm all right today. It's going to be like this all week, although it's raining tomorrow, but it's warm. But thank goodness. God, this isn't exciting, is it? It's supposed to have started now. I don't think much is going to happen.
They're fashionably late.
Yeah. But I bet they haven't planned anything. Because they just said, come here, and I bet they've thought wrong about it. Really, if you were going to... You see, that's why I thought they were going to play music. If it were me organising it, I'd have little music or something dancing around. They're not
I'm glad they don't have music personally.
Yeah, I know, because of copyright. I know, but that's what I was expecting.
Music is the enemy.
You got 3 Balfangs on?
Pardon?
You got 3 Balfangs?
Yeah, right. So there's a number of us today, and we've all got different radios that don't interconnect.
Yeah.
So that goes to most of the boys.
Yeah.
This one goes to him, and this one goes to him.
I got my own, but I haven't brought it.
I've got one out, but I don't know. I brought one. I don't know if it'll work. But I don't think the organisers might... Have they got one today? I bet they haven't. There's no real organisers, so I can't imagine then you've got to see communication.
There's a few people in the pink, they seem to be, I think, organising. They was there first and talking to police and stuff. It says on the back, Angels of Freedom. Or DJI have got back in touch with me.
At least it's warm. Fed up with the cold.
Too warm for me.
I tell you what's fun but weird is them cosplay events.
Yeah.
I went to one and it was weird because I was thinking it was always going to be people in Star Wars things.
Yeah.
It's full of 10-year-olds dressed in Japanese schoolgirl outfits. And I'm going, and the parents are walking in. But that's the funniest. I was wetting myself because all these parents trying to be liberal or embarrassed. You can see the embarrassment.
Yeah.
I mean, there was even a parent who was really, you could see she was strict Muslim with her daughters dressed up, and it looked, the contradiction was hysterical. And she was walking around and she was fully in the gate.
It's good though, isn't it? They're like integrating those, do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
the kids are always more liberal than the adults.
Yeah, I mean they were very liberal, these two girls. And they weren't that old, they were about 14, 15. Oh dear. I mean, the one I wished I'd gone to, well no, it was raining because and it's worth going to, is the Goth weekend in Whitby. That'll get you a load, but it were pouring down.
Loads of photos of that.
Oh, if you've never been, go, it's lovely. But the November
I
one...
like Whitby in the winter though.
Yeah, well they do it, the next one's November.
Oh, yeah.
Normally it's October, because it's the Goth... It's,
Halloween, isn't it?
Yeah, and I hate it when they do it in November. It just doesn't feel the same. But you can go and it can be... I have gone and it's been almost this warm. And then I've gone and my hands are frozen. But it's nice. I take the dogs and then put them on the beach and stuff. It's not as busy as it used to be, but everyone's dresses up. I don't think they've thought this protest out very much, have they?
More of a sound. I'm going to go back to Internet Library.
Yeah,
It's a bit dead, isn't it?
yeah, it might liven up.
I thought I got the dog first then.
But yeah, if you get a chance, go to the Goth weekend because you'll love
I'll
it.
see you there.
Yeah, I go normally.
Too good at bus to get there, innit now?
No, bus is a nightmare. Right, you're thinking, oh, it's great, £2. I mean, like, I don't know if they're still doing the £2 to Scarborough, but you're thinking, oh, this is great. It's like 3 or 4 hours. You're in agony.
Yeah,
By
but
the
they
time-
got internet on the bus and they got charge points and all that, so you just watch TikTok all the way there.
Oh yeah.
For me, it's fine.
Well, the seats uncomfortable. I went on that and I was so uncomfortable. But then again, I had my dog with me and she was going mental. But you've got to remember, the problem is the last bus back. I don't know what it is. Don't get caught out because you could be stuck out there. And the thing about the Goth weekend is, I don't know if it was 6
But then
something.
you get back here
But the
about
Whitby one, yeah. Don't worry about coming back. But the thing is, you got to remember that the thing about the Goth weekend is you want to be there when it gets dark because the cathedral or whatever is lights up, and that's the best bit.
Yeah.
Walking around because it has the atmosphere in the dark.
Do they not light up on a usual weekday?
They do it Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, but I always tend to go on a Sunday. I don't know. Fridays, I'm not sure if it'd be busy because everyone's coming from work and stuff. I'm guessing Saturdays, yeah. I mean, I might go on Saturday. If they protest, you know, the Palestine one's finished by then. So it might have done. I mean, I thought the war would have finished by now, but...
How long are you dragging on? It's mad, isn't it?
Well, about 7 months, I think, I started filming. Time flies, isn't it? Oh, it's our favourite ladies here. Are you saying who's to your left, our favourite lady? She has to go to everything, doesn't she?
It's not that they're getting paid to it. We're here doing a job, we're getting paid, we're working. They just do it because they've got nothing better to do, I guess.
Hello, hi. Anyone that's speaking today, can you just make yourself known and come forward just so we can sort a speaking order out? Thank you.
I think that's recorded the wrong way.
Mate, alright.
Yeah, that's recorded the wrong way. I'll start again. Oh, do you want to put that? Did you? Oh, you've got it, haven't you? Where we get called names yesterday.
Oh yeah, I got that, yeah.
At least the weather should be like this from now on.
Live?
I'll do it live again. I was live before, but it recorded that way.
Are you live now?
Yeah,
You are live now, yeah?
yeah, just in case that happens. Well, that was an exciting protest. They haven't organised this, have they? They've said turn up, and no one seems to have thought what they're going to do. Unless they're doing speeches. There's almost more of us than there are of them.
There's what?
Almost more of us than them. Raining tomorrow. If you fancy going to Manchester, I'll take you one day. You know, to film that up there. It's just a two-seater. That's the trouble. But, it's something to be seen to, isn't it? It's getting on, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't think it'll be too long.
No, they clearly haven't planned this.
This is show friendly.
They're not getting great. Oh, they're getting filmed. You'd have thought there'd have been something more from the pro-Palestine protest. They'll keep telling us they're pro it. It's almost as if they were just saying it. I don't think they planned it out today. I think they've just said come down and haven't worked out what to do. See, on the pro-Palestine ones, they do a march and all sorts, but still.
I guess we'll see.
Yeah, it's supposed to have started by now. At least the weather's nice. You can get a better, no. Well, I don't think you can get any better. If it was any hot, it's horrible. Just the right temperature.
Oh, man, I'm kind of craving another one of those 40-degree suns. Like something about that just.
Oh, it's too much. When I get used to it. It's like when you go to London, suddenly you feel the heat. I can't cope with it, but You've got everyone, when you go to London, I laugh because everyone's in coats and I'm dying. I think you get used to a certain temperature, but no, this is the correct temperature for me. Any hotter, it's just, ugh.
I think part of it is just the kind of drain.
Yeah. But the sun, even just the sun, it cheers you up. Because I hate, I think it's been so dull that it just, we'll go with speaking. Let's see.
Just to let you guys know, we do have pop cards as well if anyone wants to take any. They're free for anyone.
It's warm, yeah. You can't. You have to come with a t-shirt next time.
Come in. Just remember, section 3 of our rights, you can use force against someone who's intentionally blocking you, okay?
Oh, qué bonita esa luz.
We're not trying to play a game, mate. We're just playing off my brother. We need change. Come on, nobody's about you.
You transmit live then?
Just to let you guys know, we've got some accessibility stuff over here if anyone needs anything. We've got like different posters, we've also got first aid kits, so yeah, everything's all there.
Look.
Just stand back and watch the action. I think they're going to wind them up.
Yeah, but a couple there, just a bit of stage stuff and all there, so they were.
It's silly, look.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like I always say, what are they achieving by stopping people filming?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, if you can do speeches, you could actually at least talk, you know what I mean? Your message is going to get out one way or other.
Yeah, it is, mate. I know, like, it is.
I mean, you know, it's just...
I'm going to find It's up to... Oh, what did I do there? Hang on.
You know what makes me laugh is that for all that talk, well, the pro-Palestine lot say, oh, we're supportive. Not one's here. Not one.
Yeah. Oh, there's a couple.
Yeah, no, I'm on about the ones connected to Palestine, not the left-wingers.
Oh,
But even then, there's not many left-wingers that turned up. You'd think there'd be more. There's about, like you say, there's a couple. So where's the rest of them?
Yeah.
Isn't it fashionable for them? That's why it's just, it's...
Sorry.
I respect people for having their opinions, but it's when they do it just for fashion.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's what,
And then they're, I was going to say something stupid on camera, but I won't.
Yeah,
Do you live, do you?
Yeah, so don't, if you don't want to just... I had to do it on and off because I had it that way around. Oh, great. Here we go. Low battery. I probably forgot to charge it. I've got my other phone anyway. I always bring a spare. I thought I charged it up. Oh, I didn't charge anything last night. I was so tired.
So I just wanted to say a massive thank you for everyone who's come today.
Start it here, folks. I'm going to walk.
Yeah, but walk. I'll just stay here.
Over the past few weeks organising this event with me. You're all stars and we couldn't have made this happen without you. Firstly, I just wanted to state that we have previously reached out to members of the LGBTQ Labour Committee and they have made no efforts to respond to the transphobia within the Labour Party. Yeah, I know, right. Wes Streeting identifies as a gay man, yet he cannot lend his empathy or solidarity with the trans community, as we've seen this week with the recent proposed ban of trans women from the Roosevelt Awards. He also backs the class review in full and refuses to back down from this. Labour is fueling the flames for the current culture war against transgender people in the UK. By refusing to call transphobia out and by actively participating in future actions to potentially strip our rights, we can evidently see that this party is not representative of trans people. I would urge everyone with a trans or ally to vote Green or Independent in the next general election. So, on Tuesday, new guidelines were released by the Royal College of General Practitioners, which suggests GPs should not have authority to make certain changes for their trans patients. The advice suggests that GPs should not be able to prescribe bridging hormones to trans people who are waiting to be seen by a gender identity clinic, and that GPs are not informed enough to make decisions on changing hormone doses for trans people based off blood test results if they don't feel confident to do so. This is a direct effect of the CAS review, as the Royal College of General Practitioners has used the CAS review to come up with these new guidelines. While I understand that this is only guidance, I can also confidently say that many trans people have had battles with transphobic GPs up and down the country concerning their hormones. This new guidance only serves to give such GPs more reason to refuse treatment of trans patients, and unfortunately, this will lead to an increase in young trans suicide across the UK. Additionally, the Good Law Project has advised that new NHS documents have leaked in which NHS England are asking mental health providers for young trans and non-binary children to instruct mental health assessments of their patients by the 30th of June 2024. After the assessment, the children will be asked to stop gender-affirming care, or they may be subjected to safeguarding referrals, essentially forcing them into medically detransitioning. It also advises that if trans children under 18 are found to be using unregulated and overseas gender-affirming care, they will also be advised to stop, or else they'll be subjected to safeguarding referrals. This is absolutely unacceptable, and we need to make noise
It's
on this.
quite quiet today. One or two trying to block them from filming, but
to stop this, as this is again a direct result of the CAS review. The CAS review in itself is extremely biased and based on unscientific evidence and has been supported by many,
I don't think anything will
known
happen,
anti-trans organisations and trans exclusionary radical feminists, including J.K. Rowling, Sex Matters, Maya Forster, Kenny Badenoch and more. On Thursday, the Minister of Women and Equality
umbrella
seeking examples of policy or guidance in which public bodies wrongly suggest
I was
that
going to
people
say,
have a legal
I think the
access
guy
to
holding
single-sex
the
spaces
car
and
bar that's
services
blocking his
according to
thing.
their
I thought it
self-identified
might be
gender.
oh no,
This
yeah, he
means
is.
that Kemi Badenoch is
the guy with the-
single-handedly running a campaign to try and further
Yeah, it
ban
looks like
trans
he's
people from
blocking in there.
single-sex spaces,
But that-
in
but
particular
they're
trans
silly
women.
because what are they
This is
achieving?
abhorrent, and we must oppose this action.
Anyway.
This is in complete violation
I'll
of
have
the
a wonder,
2010
but,
Equality Act, and we can see that the likes of Kemi Badenoch are trying to twist the current legislation we have in place to fuel her own personal vendetta against trans people. So-called feminists are claiming their rights have been taken away from them, yet we can clearly see that only people whose rights have been infringed on are those of the transgender community. We can blame the likes of Hillary Cass for fueling the ongoing culture war that is threatening the safety of trans people in the UK. In terms of the Cass review, they rejected 101 out of 103 studies that were submitted on the basis that these studies were too biased, yet they have worked with known anti-trans lobbyists and supporters of conversion therapy. What does this mean? Well, the methodology of the Cass review was only stated to include studies where they recommended a double-blind placebo for hormone therapy. This means they would have only accepted studies in which there would have been a group of young trans people that were not given hormones alongside a group of young trans people that were given hormones. This practice is generally inhumane and would have caused significant mental distress to the trans people who were not given life-saving hormones. Not only would this have caused distress, it would have never have made it past an ethics committee as a result. I believe that the reason they stated the guidelines in such a way is so they could easily reject the multiple studies that showed that gender-affirming care is life-saving in favour of their own transphobic agenda. The report was independent, but we can clearly see that this report was heavily biased. There is one part of the report that states that young boys play with trucks and that young girls play with dolls. How on earth are we meant to take any of this pseudoscience seriously when we know for a fact that life simply does not work this way? It is another example of enforcing traditional and outdated gender roles, and I honestly cannot understand how anyone can take this report so seriously. It is completely unserious, and we should not be using such a mockery of a review to decide whether trans people deserve to exist or not. Cass further stated that we should be careful with how we approach transgender healthcare, and she recommends in her report that trans people should not be able to make decisions on their own body up to the age of 25. 25 is when your brain is developed, is disproved pseudoscience. I'm sorry, you can get married, join the army, own a car and vote, but you cannot control your own bodily autonomy up until the age of 25. One absolute joke. This report is poppycock and we know it. Not only this, but there have been many different researchers and contributors to this so-called scientific report who fully support modern-day conversion therapy for LGBT people. How on earth are we at a point where people with these views still get a say or are generally taken seriously? Furthermore, the Cass report also states we should take great care with neurodivergence and gender identity, as if neurodivergent people aren't able to make autonomous decisions about their own gender and body. Just so we can have a clearer idea of the people who reject this review as gospel, we've had many statements against the review from different professional bodies. Firstly, the British Association of Gender Identity Specialists have released a statement confirming they believe the review is harmful to the future of trans healthcare. GIRES Chair Kat Horton was also invited to participate on the Cass review, and this is her comment. I was invited to consult with the Cass review. After 3 discussions, it was obvious that the review had been written before we started. She totally discounted evidence from trans people from the basis of knowledge or lived experience. Additionally, therapists against conversion therapy and transphobia have released a statement condemning the Cass review and its association with known conversion therapy supporters. Neurodivergent academic Abs S. Ashley critiques the insidious mobilisation of neurodivergence to undermine the agency of transgender people in the UK's recently published independent review of gender identity services for children and young people. The Feminist Gender Equality Network has also written a letter from concerned academics urging the NHS to not make recommendations based on the inaccurate findings of the CAPS review. Finally, the Trans Safety Network has also expressed disdain for the CAPS review's finding and has also condemned the Royal College of General Practitioners' recent advice. The reason why I'm stood up here today speaking is because I know for a fact gender-affirming care does save lives. In 2019, I was so lost knowing that I was on a long-winded waiting list to be seen by Leeds Gender Identity Services. I was a bit stumped at what to do, so I started researching online and could see I was able to self-refer myself to a local endocrinologist called Dr. Hammond in Harrogate Hospital. I met up with him in spring 2019 and he made recommendations based on our conversations, and I was so lucky to be put on a bridging prescription of hormones at the time. If this didn't happen, I would not be where I am today. This was a life-changing step for me. It helped me to become the woman that I am today. I can stand proudly knowing that I'm a transgender woman to my core. I fully believe that every single trans person deserves the opportunity that I have experienced. And the reason I organise this rally today is so that those who come after me can feel assured that their community supports them and we all love them. I love my trans sisters, brothers and siblings. We must rise up against the system which is trying to remove us from existence. Even before the CAST review, our system was not the best, so we need everyone's support in creating a better system in which our healthcare is taken seriously and given the utmost care to ensure trans youth have the tools to transition safely and confidently. So what can you do as an ally? You must talk about this. If there's one thing I want you all to take away from this, is that we want you to support, protect and help us. Please, if you have any power in your community, go out there and talk about the injustices you have witnessed today. Speak to your friends, your family, your co-workers. I need you all to write to your local MPs and I'd encourage you to research who you're voting for and make sure that they share the opinion that trans people have a right to live a full life as who they are in the general elections. We must make change together. Without you, we do not have the numbers or the power to change anything. Call the injustice out for what it is. Join us in our fight against the healthcare system that is trying to erase us. I would also like to take a moment to thank and introduce the other speakers who have joined us today to speak about their personal struggles, journeys and their experiences with the trans healthcare system in the UK. Please listen carefully to what they have to say. We have so many great people here today to talk about their cause. Additionally, I would just like to give a huge shout out to the Leeds student encampment at the Uni of Leeds. They have been actively campaigning all week and have additionally lent us sound equipment for today. Unfortunately, there was an incident a couple of days ago where the security at Leeds University attacked protesters on campus. I would just like to say that we stand in solidarity with the protesters and we condemn and we commend their efforts to call Leeds University out for their complicit part in genocide. Free Palestine!
I just want to say, first of all, thank you for the massive turnout here. It's lovely to see everyone together standing against this ridiculous review. CAST review is nothing less than an attack on the bodily autonomy of all trans people, marking us out as different, corrupt and perverse, and having our motivations or our genders questioned. Trans children have become another sacrifice in the so-called culture war that turns trans people into acceptable targets for political gesturing and security instead of people. I could tell you all about my experiences as a trans child. I realized I was trans at roughly 12 or 13, and I could very easily describe the misery I felt watching my body change for years while there was nothing that I could do. Hating myself and having to detach from my life because I knew this wasn't me, but there was nothing to do but wait. And I could tell you about finally becoming an adult and going to the GP and asking if I could be put on the waiting list and being told I would have to wait for roughly 8 years and to dip into my pockets to go private for £4,000 that I don't have. But the truth is that even if I say that, my feelings are not going to be enough to change the minds of the people who put this in place because they do not care about our feelings. I could recount the science that says that gender-affirming care for trans kids saves lives, reduces suicide, reduces self-harm rates. I could explain how hormone blockers have been used for years on cis kids as well, how there is no adverse effects, how that's already been proven in multiple studies. But the truth is, if we were here to talk about the science, we wouldn't have to be here at all. Because the Cass Review, because ultimately, the Cass Review is not about science. The Cass Review is a symptom of this government that does not care about the lives of the people. This is a government that has been trying to pass an archaic bill deporting refugees to Rwanda, including trans refugees, who means trans individuals will be deported to a country that is unsafe for them. This is a country that has had attack on disability rights, recently again going after PIP after already been having told they are humiliating disabled people in an international court, again going for that, meaning trans individuals who struggle enough with employment and job security will again, trans disabled individuals will again have their income sliced. This is a country funneling money out that we need for NHS into genocides in Palestine, in Congo, in the Sudan. Trans rights is just another battle that this government uses to show that it does not care about the people. And this fight for trans liberation is global. From Singapore, where trans people are being locked up in jails, to Kenya, where bills being funded by the USA are passed, to the USA itself, which has its own battles about trans children and their right to live a life of they choose.
Oh,
They think everyone with a
that's
camera
what we
is
were called yesterday. I know. But no, it's because they see white people and that's what they think. They don't realise everyone. I mean, I'd argue most of these are neutral anyway, don't care. They're just doing it to wind people up at the most. And it's still because at the end of the day, they'd get the people are going to listen and they can make their own side because, you know, they're wanting their own voice. I don't know. I'm too tired to care today. I'm shattered.
And I'm a trans kid, you turn into an adult. So I'm saying we're not going to fire. We're not going to sit here as they take away our rights and ignore our voices. And we're not going to let them target the most vulnerable of our community, the kids. Trans kids will grow up to become trans elders. Always.
Look at that, they might be the ones troubled, but you want a bit of fun.
So, how are we all doing today? Can we get cheers for trans boys, please? So, I just want to say wonderful, brave people for showing up to this program. It means the world to see you all here today and especially at such a crucial moment in our fight for freedom against the looming threats of further marginalisation, oppression, and threats at the hands of those who wish to silence our voice, our right to exist, and the very idea of freedom itself. This rally is not only for us here today, but for the young people nationwide and for generations to come. I applaud you all and thank you for being here today with my whole heart. I speak today from my experiences not only as a trans person, but as an individual working within further education, working with trans youth. Seeing the imminent harm the Cass Review will cause to the students and young people across the UK, I feel it is my duty to use my voice to give them a voice, to make the voice of those most marginalised affected and heard. To briefly summarise and to not retread ground as speakers have come before, the Cass Review was undertaken by Hilary Cass in 2020 as commissioned by NHS England to review trans-related healthcare for under 18s. The recently published final review report is deeply concerning in a variety of factors regarding flawed methodology, discounting of key evidence, unacceptable bias, purposefully excluding trans voices, advocacy of conversion therapy, notable dubious political ties, and scientifically unsupported outcomes. This is like many well-versed medical professionals, psychiatric and therapeutic associations, academics, and educational institutes, as well as the lived experiences of trans people, to not only find the cash review faulty, but with the capacity to cause great deals of harm and trauma to trans youth, and to be rightfully condemned. Denying the bodily autonomy, the right to self-determination of those most marginalised, those very much targeted by this review in its seething display of anti-trans rhetoric. To say it frankly and transparently, recommendations from the review suggest the following: a complete ban on NHS access to puberty blockers for cis and trans youth alike, the legitimization of conversion therapy, intrusive and abusive assessments regarding trans identity, an immediate removal of 17-year-old access to adult healthcare clinics, clinical control over social transition, restrictions on private healthcare, and to forbid trans identity to neurodiverse people such as with autism and ADHD. This poorly conducted review ultimately aims, through its campaign, to roll back trans freedoms, rights, and especially access to life-saving healthcare in an attempt to medically legislate trans existence out of the public eye and out of existence by targeting and worsening access to gender-affirming healthcare for people under the age of 25 in the UK, dressed up in the guise of reasonableness and duty of care. We must speak out and raise awareness for the incredibly damaging conclusions this review proposes. But as we speak today, in the here and now, the Royal College of General Practitioners has proposed new guidance in line with the CAS review to attempt to avert GPs from prescribing bridging hormones or actioning dose changes as indicated by blood monitoring, meaning the restriction of life-saving gender-affirming healthcare and the denial of the needs of our existence. Yet legislation championed by both Conservative and Labour governments generating further apathy and distrust to the very systems that be, and a denial of the potential for a bright and fulfilling life to those that would suffer under the implementation of this guidance. The reality of coming to terms with one's transness, not only with the feelings of otherness and separation from one's own body, from the understanding that you will be stepping into a world that seeks to demonize you, ostracize you, cause you harm, cause you pain, simply for being true to one's identity and volition for happiness, joy, and community. In the face of that is harrowing, to say the very least. This I may speak from my own personal experience, yet having someone reach out to tell you that you belong in this world, to soothe your dread in telling you that your life is worth living, that you can experience a meaningful and fulfilling life alongside your friends, your peers, your community, despite your differences, can help so very much. In my own experience in education, as a student coming to terms with my own identity as a trans woman, and to have those feelings supported and affirmed, to have my needs met and encourage my academic growth in spite of in spite of the hardship I faced by staff, by pastoral support, by peers. The difference it made not only to the improvement of my mental health and well-being, but to the academic potential and ability to succeed in pursuing a career I am so deeply passionate about. As an educator, I wish to support, to the best of my ability, those going through the same struggles as I once did, with my whole heart.
Take a break, folks. Take a break.
A key foundation is the ability to foster an inclusive learning environment so that young people in education, regardless of background, such as socioeconomic status, race, religion, gender identity and sexual orientation have the ability to succeed and follow their passions, that they may live a meaningful, free and fulfilling life. In reality, however, there exist multiple barriers to learning which must be addressed on the part of the educator to allow students to thrive. In the past decade, the rise in the number of transgender students has steadily increased, and with that, the individual challenges trans youth face within education on all levels. The challenges of having the entire world against you and your identity, you yourself not holding on to the life-saving healthcare you so deserve, to be forced to endure an unending limbo of waiting lists just to prove that you are valid in your identity, forcibly made to grovel to the whims of those who hold all the power in the world, to you as you are. It's getting a bit awkward now with this. Made to prove your transness, your experience, your identity, that it ticks all the necessary boxes, that you may be fortunate enough to be granted the luxury of healthcare and medication that makes your life worth living. Time passes, the seemingly endless duration of waiting lists being prolonged. Year after year, the changes, the alien changes of your body continue. Yet you know who you are, who you want to be. After years of internal, agonizing introspection of one's gender, and yet we are powerless to halt this alien metamorphosis of your own body. For you as a youth do not have the financial power to seek treatment to aid your woe, and not given the luxury of urgency to halt these changes, that you may inhabit a body in line with your being. Time passes, years pass, your body changing each day in a way that does not feel right, reaching a point on your 18th birthday where your progress is set back to square one, to be transferred to the adult clinic and have your painstaking wait yield nothing. Bodily horror and a complete lack of power to enact change is an unfortunate reality for a vast majority of trans youth. And so with these lived realities of trans youth, these challenges they face, they take their step into education to follow their passions of a better life, not only academically or for vocational potential, but for socialization. The ability to have a space where they can make friends, talk about their interests, have fun with their peers, and engage with their passions in spite of the hardship. In acknowledging these hardships, the role of the educator in supporting trans students is not only to recognise their identity, but to champion their diversity within the classroom, to afford them the basic respect they deserve of their name, of their gender, and the material facilities in which they inhabit. Every day I walk into work greeted by the radiating joy from the trans students I teach, that within the space of the campus they are equals with their peers, that they have a voice, the ability to succeed and spend time with the friends they have made, that their joy and support they receive allows them to try their best to further their passions and look towards a brighter future that we may foster as educators. Their transness is not a limiting factor with the hardships they face, but another facet of multi-layered individuals growing up in this world. That they may be given the tools to succeed in this world and carve a place for themselves, for their community. I wish for a world, a future, in which these young people can thrive, that the joy I have witnessed them experience in their transness, they may live openly and freely without fear of harm, violence or discrimination. Yet, as part of the curriculum nationwide, there is necessity to deliver content regarding British values, most importantly, that of democracy. Yet whenever such ideas of democracy arise within the classroom, an inevitable question I have seen brought up from students is that of trans rights. Discussion of such topics, if even taken seriously, mind you, with a narrative on a political and medical level presented solely within the realms of power by cis people, and a very telling reality of a lack of trans voices leading the conversation as to our bodily autonomy, our right to exist, and our future itself, especially with the shared understanding of powerlessness of trans people, that we are beholden to our cis counterparts within society. That not only our entire existence being dictated by the whims of cis people, but that as trans individuals we do not have the liberty to speak out, to have the ability to critique our treatment within education, within labour, within society against cis people without fearing the severe repercussions of how we will be treated and the lack of opportunities we will be granted if we speak out. That we must be grateful to even be here and exist today. Shared feelings like this generate something far more sinister than hatred, but apathy. Apathy that whatever change we make to improve our lives, that the results will be the same, that there will be no lasting impact, that regardless of the course of history as it presents the possibility of change for a better future, that change will not be granted, that change will not be granted to not only us today, but to trans youth nationwide, that their future for joy will be continually legislated away. These attacks we face coming from all sides of our existence in an attempt to segregate, isolate, and hide our existence from cis public eye. In education, recent draft guidance has been floated by the Department of Education regarding the treatment of gender-questioning children, with many educators seeking the best ways in which to support trans youth. The draft guidance itself, as with the CAS review, attempts to justify by pseudoscientific claims of bioessentialism and inconsistency at odds with the existing protections such as the 2010 Equality Act. Gender reassignment is a protected characteristic under this Act and is established through case law as part of the Human Rights Act. However, the guidance states that there is no necessity or obligation to call students by their name or pronouns if different than those prescribed with your birth, leading to no recourse by educators of intentional dead naming, misgendering, and open hostilities and inflicting harm against the student's legally protected characteristics. In order to make the changes necessary regarding the student's name and pronouns, sustained and repeated requests are to be made. The effect of this leading to youth not feeling they have a voice, to feelings of hopelessness and despair that even within their place of education they are not taken seriously. In the guidance's advocacy for sex-based rights, it states that parents need to be informed if their child's clothes are sex-appropriate for school. But what is sex-appropriate clothing? The conflation of gender and sex in this regard seeks to police the clothing and presentation of what a student may wear to school, if it is appropriately masculine or feminine in line with the student's sex. Lastly, parental consent is required in the majority of cases mentioned above for a student to any aspect of presentation, of identity, and requires teachers to inform parents of any meaningful changes made in pursuit of these changes. The incredibly dangerous and harmful potential this guidance reports will lead to trans youth being outed and harmed, and assumes that both educational institutes and parents should not respect the wishes, the students' wishes, nor identity. This only leads to further oppression and invisibility faced by trans youth, and to be suppressed until they legally reach adulthood. All of the above applies to sixth form and colleges, meaning that students of age 16 to as old as 18 will be beholden to this enforced guidance, despite the fact that you can legally change your name at 16, access sexual services without parental consent from 13, change your gender marker legally and use whatever pronouns, honorifics, and name one may choose. This is not even to mention the rights afforded to cis people at these ages. The right to legally marry, to have children, to smoke and buy alcohol, to serve in the military and to drive. This guidance, hand in hand with the proposed CAS review, seeks to marginally increase the difficulty in the educational setting, more so that... Thank you very much. anywhere else. Further silencing, ostracizing and isolating those most affected with these policies. In the denial of social and medical autonomy, the legislation seeks to further ostracize and deny the right of so many of their autonomy, their right to being itself. The lack of access and segregation of medical rights and duty of care will further exacerbate the pain felt by trans youth, and those with the ability to do so are already taking their medical autonomy into their own hands. I can see no happy future for trans youth if these pieces of legislation are to be enacted. I believe in a future of change, of development. I believe in a future of this country for the youth of today most marginalised. A future in which we may one day rise up and shed the shackles denying our right to live. To see our own medical needs met and grant our own autonomy and freedom that we so desperately require. To pave a future, pave a way for a progressive future, a future that seeks to provide a voice to the voiceless, one that does not falter from bigotry, the hatred and lack of understanding of the past, that generations of trans youth need not suffer the pain, the anxiety, the dread and fear brought on by legislation of the Cash Review that seeks to attack their very right to live, to be happy, to be free. Change starts with all of Change starts with all of us, in the here and now, with all the wonderful, hard-working, compassionate people gathered here today to fight for such a noble cause, with fervour in your hearts and a dream of virtuous justice for freedom of those most marginalised. Today we stand together in solidarity to speak out against the harm and dangerous reality the Cash Review seeks to cause. The fight does not end with this rally here today, but must continue with the fires lit within your hearts to enact material change that may end the oppression we face in our transness. The attacks facing trans youth from all sides without a voice to fight back. We must deny this attack with the very fibre of our being, to protect the joy, the whimsy, so that trans youth may lead meaningful lives and their needs met. So I say to you all today, please stand with us in our fight against injustice. Raise awareness of the harm caused by the Cash Review and the guidance proposed by the Department of Education. Write to your local politicians stating the harm that this legislation will cause and your lack of support for them otherwise. Build strong unions with the trans community and continue to organise so that we may see more events like this, speaking truth to power. Finally, be there and support the trans people, the trans youth in your lives. I wish to see the sun rise on the day that we may shed off this political apathy, that we may live to see the day that our rights are championed, that the trans youth of today and future generations may be given a voice and ability to fight for their rights and what is just. I desire to bear witness to a future in which trans youth may have the freedom to age and grow old, a future in which trans people can retire, that trans couples can celebrate 50 years together. I desire to see trans grandparents and trans great-grandparents. I wish to see the sun rise for a future where trans youth, trans people can live long and happy lives. The fight for the future like this remains in the actions of the present and our continual battle today to do so. Thank you all for being here today, and I wish you all nothing but the very best, that we may live to see a bright future for trans youth. Can we get one final cheer, please? Thank you all and have a wonderful day.
I just wanted to reiterate, please do not interact with the gentleman with the cameras, we will not be silenced. I also just wanted to say as well, when you're leaving, please leave in big groups. groups. Make sure that obviously you're with people that you trust and that you know. If anyone needs anything after this, we will be at Wharf Chambers just to let you all know. Thank you.
I am very nervous, so if I stutter a little bit, please bear with me. So, my name is Olivia, and I'm here today to represent Trans Leeds, which is a registered charity that provides various support to trans and non-binary people over the age of 18 in Leeds. Now, I'd like to show you all some things which are personal to me, something related to the service users which we assist, but crucially, there's going to be a bit of a mix of things here. I will join them all together. There are dots. Please follow me. So, I'd like to thank you all first for attending. It is fantastic to see such a turnout. Solidarity is the only way we can fight back against oppression. I've known I was doing this for a very long time, and I say that I haven't known, but it was there, and I had buried it, and I had fought it for years because I thought it was the only person on earth who felt the way I felt about myself. And at the age of 7 or 8, it never left me alone. And I remember growing up as a child of the 90s and the early 2000s, trans people being treated as a joke. We were the butt of every joke, because no matter what you were watching on TV, whether it was film, on TV, radio, comic books, we were laughed at. We were not understood. We were treated unfairly by the world, and that has to stop. The same tools that were present in the media are still used to attack us as trans and non-binary people today. Those same things are still being said, and people aren't quiet about it, so we have to stand up and not be quiet either. When I first met another trans person when I was 19, it finally showed me that there wasn't something wrong with me, that I wasn't alone, and none of us are alone. I'm sharing my story now not because I want you to feel sorry for me, but because I want you to know that you're not alone either. And I hear the same beats of the story in the stories of the service users that come to Trans Leeds. I hear it in the people I talk to online, and that cannot stand. And the Cash Review represents a continuation of that we cannot allow. Many of our service users are over the age of 25 and so are not affected directly by the Cash Review, but many are not. There are many between the ages of 18 to 25, and I fear for their future.
Last.
It may be close to the rim with good intentions to improve the quality of care, to protect children who neither of those things. Instead, as we've seen since Cass's interim report,
They're here to intimidate.
I've been stole the action, I think.
That's a Mexican sandwich. Yeah, that's what I say. I'm making Mexican sandwich. Anyway, yeah.
Despite the understanding the risks involved, hence the role of emotions and connection between critical thinking and regular trans to make their decisions. This section is one that worries me not for what it particularly says, but for what it doesn't say, and what it is used to build upon later in the report. The medical profession claims since the age of consent for any procedure upon the patient at the age of 16. Cis girls can consent to being given the pill, contraceptives, at 13, which is themselves called for hormonal medications. So why, when the ability to consent from 16 is the case for almost
There we go.
ensuring your brain is fully developed factoid, this is the picture part by evidence, show each wrong motion is right. So what if you don't feel a horror in your soul, those words I won't blame you. It's a deliberate renaming of a much older practice to make it seem more palatable and more state of true intentions. Exploratory therapy is experimental. It's based on pushing people through exploring whether they're wrong about their own transness, getting them to doubt and desist. The name of this institute should never have been exploratory therapy. Call it what it is, conversion therapy. A clear and concerted effort to remove trans people's access to gender-affirming care, to scare them back into the closet, and to remove an entire generation of trans people from existence. But the problem with this, the thing the establishment has not captured on, is that not only has the trans community begun to look out for and after each other, but we finally have trans elders, those who survived previous attempts, like Section 28, to make them hide who they really are.
See what's going on.
Stand up here.
And after this knowledge, the youth of us will not stand by idly and let it happen again. So what can we do? I'll admit it is easy to feel hopeless at a time like this, and I know I have. I'm sorry you're an incel. But we're here now, and we're here today. And take your space. And after taking space and the visible rotation of endorsing the CAS review and every piece of legislation or recommendation like it, I implore you all to call to action. Go home, write to your MPs, write to your councillors, write to the heads of your local NHS trust, tell them the impact on you, on your loved ones, on your friends, on your families.
No, we haven't. Back to the mic.
We have freedoms as well.
Fuck you, fascists!
convinced I'm with the Nazis.
Just stay
You're
safe.
convinced despite any evidence.
Stay out
despite me
here.
saying that I'm fucking gay. Don't give them
Oh,
that.
no, stay over here.
I've
You're
been lumped in with you
safer.
with. I don't know.
I get lumped in with everyone. Stay out here. You're safer. No, stay here. You're safer. Because there's not that many police. Yeah. But I don't. I know. But I don't know if it's the medication they're on. It seems to. I know a few people who are trans and they've got such. It seems an abnormal. And you know what I mean? They spark off. But I was expecting it to. That I don't know. But just stay here. You're safer. Don't get involved. Because they're edged up.
Put a trans flag on.
I don't think it. I think then they'd be offended by that. You can't win. There's a like a thing. I mean, you can never win with the left. You're safer not being. I just stay neutral. But I'll be honest, I wouldn't have turned up if they weren't there, because I wouldn't have felt safe on my own.
Well, I'll always feel safe for me.
Well, it's
No one's
just.
going to do it to me, are they?
Well, you don't know.
If
You
the
just
match was
don't
10 of them,
know.
I still wouldn't fight.
I'm pathetic. I run. I mean, we got assaulted on Wednesday, and it just came out of the blue. Yeah, and when you're not expecting it, it's like people say, "Oh, why didn't you do X, Y, and Z?" And you're going. I mean, some people can react, but I never do. It's like just takes you by surprise.
I had my camera flashed at a Black Lives Matter.
Yeah, well, that's why
And I
these
was
are
one of
just.
the protesters.
Well, these are reconditioned. That's why I'm careful.
Yeah, well, it's 120 quid running shop for us. So.
Yeah, so at least it is. And if I was you, just put a bit of rubber around it as well. Add it. Yeah, but if you can find a bit of rubber or something.
You just do that.
Yeah, but if you get a bit of like double like tape or something that's padded, it'll just protect it. God, I thought we were all going to get killed then.
What?
God, that turned heated. That turned heated. I mean, there's only 2 police. If it kicks off, I don't think they'll be able to do a lot.
Yeah. Can I take it up?
Yeah. You don't need to go across them.
And exploratory therapy. And it's my professional view, having worked with trans kids for over 10 years, that this is tantamount to conversion therapy. NHS England, like many other professional organisations, have signed up to the Memorandum of Understanding on conversion therapy. And basically what that Memorandum of Understanding says is that any attempts of conversion therapy, any attempts of conversion therapy to change someone's gender identity or sexuality is without evidence base, is unethical, and is harmful to those who are subjected to those practices. And yet, despite that, NHS England moving forward with effective exploratory therapy that many professionals myself system and the system, and she wasn't even aware that there was mandatory sterilisation. 60 odd she said was moving standard, but she didn't just look in the review. My challenge to Hillary Cass is where's your review, where's your evidence for DBT and CBT in relation to trans people? I asked her this direct question in the meeting. I said, Hillary, the youth services are recruiting for CBT therapists to try and talk into the trans identity. They're recruiting for EDT therapists, dialectical behaviour therapy, because they see it as being a trauma-based issue, pathologising trans youth. I asked her to name one study, one single study that would support the use of EDT or CBT. Hillary Cass said to me, you'll have to wait until the literature review comes out. She couldn't even name a single study to support the main recommendations of her own report. And this is 3 years in. This is not at the very beginning. This is 3 years in. So my challenge to Hillary Cass is, where's your evidence? Where is your evidence? Where is your evidence? Where is your evidence for CBT or DBT or the type in relation to what you're proposing? Exploratory therapy is conversion therapy, and it's simply not good enough. These guys if they think they're going to intimidate me, you know, I'm from Glasgow, mate. What we see here from these guys is symptomatic of some of the change that's happened for trans people in this country over the past few years. 20 years ago, it used to be respectful kind of discourse in relation to trans people. And now, a politically motivated right-wing press and guys like this think that it's okay to disrespect the lived experience of trans people. Well, it isn't, and it's not, and it never will be. And again, this is something that I have raised directly with Hillary Cass and with NHS England. As I mentioned earlier, I worked in a good service for almost 10 years. The first 7 years that I worked there, I was aware of one suicide related to the good service.
Stand up here. Oh, she's happy.
There he is. Maybe I can interview you. I just missed it on camera, but I saw her chasing you around with umbrella.
Pat's actually threatened to arrest me. And then, on the 1st of December 2020,
I'm throwing it over there.
was the day that the court reported the umbrella.
So they threatened to arrest you? I could see CJ getting nicked, you know. He's pushing his luck a bit.
Within hours
There we are, they're not sticking that parasol in my face.
No, she said safe distance. She's happy. Oh, hey, I don't know.
Shame on you! Shame on you!
I know. They're foolish. Stay here, you're safe.
Human dust!
That's what they think of as the left wing. We're Phil. She's horrible as that woman. She's been funny with me a few times. I just smile at her. She hates it because I'm never nasty to her. Then she's no weapon against me. Oh yeah. I told you it'd all kick off today.
risk for the young people that we work with.
So why do the police warn me with public order, but they don't warn them with public order? It's like they're literally harassing them.
Probably because there's only like 4 police and they're scared to death if it kicks off. There's more of them than us. It's safer to ask you to move away than risk a whole riot.
I'd rather pay for your
That's what they've been doing. I mean, normally, I presume the police have got cameras going, but I'm surprised how few police actually here. Because like I said, the Posey Parker thing, they literally had the full riot.
Look about you in the middle of it.
I know.
You know, it's like you see someone getting arrested. Could be CJ, possibly. No, they're threatening to arrest me, so.
But I don't think the protest can be going on much longer, so. What time is it? It's coming up to 3 o'clock.
I've got a hangover, I'd rather not be in the cell.
No, there can't be much longer. I mean, the problem they've got is these speeches are boring. They should have shortened them down.
Slaves are not up for debate. Trans slaves are valid, and we must protect trans kids.
Hello, thank you everyone today for your resilience and for showing up and showing these passions that we will not be silenced and we will not be silenced. All I feel at the moment is a sense of our strong community, and I want every single one of you for coming out today and turning up. I also just want to say as well that, you know, it's all well and good that we've got people here laughing about people not taking their community seriously, but at the end of the day, that's a reflection of themselves, and at the end of the day, they're the ones that are going to be on the wrong side of history, not us.
Turned up pretty angry. And if anybody needs to get up to speed on why we're here, if you haven't been listening to the speeches that all these lovely predecessors have been giving, then feel free to ask, because we are here to tell you what is going on. And that goes for everybody that can hear me in Leeds right now. I want you to harness that, because that is the driving force. That is the thing, along with passion, compassion, is the thing that is going to drive us forward into being able to make some productive change, I hope. But I can also imagine at the same time as that some of you are feeling pretty blue, because this isn't the kind of reality we thought we were going to be dealt, But the thing I wanted to say was, ended up with nothing. This is not my idea of a good time. This is not my idea of a good time. This is not my idea. And just to finish, I'd like to acknowledge that many of the postcards we made as massive defiance to the other day for today were painted with the same fan brushes that I used to apply my highlighter. To the high points of my severe and gorgeous cheekbone. Yet another thing that makes us shine. I love you all for being here, and I really, I'm sure it makes everybody's day to see each other exercising our right to come together as a community. Okay? Ceasefire now! 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 Ceasefire now!
I'm here with Salford, who have helped put organise this rally. We wanted to say a few things about the CAS review. The very same review that comments on the trans experience based on assumptions of conversion therapists. Not exactly the most unbiased source. The same review that intentionally ignores peer-reviewed research in support of transgender people deserving the right to life-saving healthcare in favour of its own agenda. Gender-affirming healthcare is life-saving healthcare for so many trans people. Everybody deserves the right to self-expression and most of all, the freedom, and that is a right that is not granted to trans people today in the UK as it is to the cis people. And the fact that the CAS review calls for a total ban on that very freedom for any trans person under 25 is morally despicable and will no doubt lead to higher rates of depression and even suicide in transgender youth and adults. This review isn't just any old newspaper article, it is a legal government-sanctioned document, and as such, the government will be using this anti-science review to introduce laws for this country, laws which will immeasurably harm the trans community. That means that our government is complicit in the suicides which their actions will facilitate. And I just want to say as well, to any police officers here today, if you actually care about trans people, you will quit your job because you will be the ones enforcing transphobic laws. To finish off, I'd like to urge and encourage you to keep fighting, keep going till the rallies like this one, and continue being as loud as you can. Use your passions, your skills, and your talents to help organize more protests when your screams are not being heard. There is strength in numbers, and together we can challenge the government's authority. Tell other people what to do with their bodies. Remember, if you are silent about your struggle, they'll take your rights away and tell you it was for your own good. You're not gonna win. You're all fucking Nazis. We beat them before and we'll beat them again.
Thank you everyone so much for coming today. I think this is the end of the rally now, so we are out of speakers. So yeah, we're going to clean up and we're going to finish now. I just want to remind everyone to leave in groups. We will be meeting up afterwards at Wharf Chambers as sort of like a safe space if anyone needs it. I know that today has been a lot. But yeah, thank you all for coming. I love you all.
Trans rights now!
fucking goes for you.
I think we best leading groups.
Yeah.
I think we're not safe here, mate.
You get going. I'm okay. I'm on a bike, but if I was you, I'd get going just to keep safe. Just keep an eye. No one follows you though. I mean, I can zoom on that. I'm okay. The chance of anyone running after me.
Well, I can take it in here, but...
Yeah, well, you don't want to, do you?
No, not really.
No, just I don't think anything will happen, but they're arresting somebody. So as people split, this is going to be the spark point. That's why I'm standing here. I'm safe.
How are you?
I think.
If everybody could disperse and not hang around here, that would be great. Make sure you leave in groups, no one leave by yourself. And if everybody leaves as soon as possible, when just put a minute around that when it's wrong.
Matt, you know what we do best.
I can watch it. I want to do it. I'm going to do this in fact on the video. Right, this is what goes on my right. what I find to happen, they react to the camera for whatever reason, and I figure that out. Can't figure it out. I don't mean day by day, I mean any protest that we go to, whether it's for Palestine, whatever it be. See the camera, and you immediately start calling them Zionists or antagonists, and all this, and then because their reaction caused it to seem like that, so he wasn't engaging with them.
So if they'd have ignored you, you wouldn't, like, you had all the power there, didn't you? Because they were reacting.
Yeah, there was nothing. What actually happened there? They were hanging their clothes up. Are you still alive then? People need to hear this is the speaker. Saw that video. Yeah. What's all that about?
Around that time,
It all went beyond
Unbelievable, bro. As no move, it was a mask against there was debating against the system.